Hi, it's Roni, and welcome to my channel. And a Punched Out Thursday to Die For with Kathy, Krista, myself, Dorothy, Rebecca, and Sonia. And yes, some of them might be on vacation. Not sure who. This is a picture of my grandson, and he is earnestly working on being a scientist there. And I'm going to make a couple of things first. Well, one's just assembly, but I am going to make one out of that scale that's on the kitchen set and the little knob that is on the mixer set. And this is the scale, and I just cut it out in black. And I was pointing out that there's like a curve that is embossed into it, and I'm just following along it. And then on the bottom, I thinned that one piece out, and I'm cutting the bottom part of the other off. And it's going to be like a two-piece thing. Well, it's going to be a microscope is what I'm working on. And you have that one place below the slide, and then you have the slide, and you put it on top. That's what that is. And I cut part of the circle off that was on the scale, and I'm just going to glue that on the tip end of one. I had to kind of guess where to put it. And I'm putting the other thing, and I showed it. It was in the toolbox, and it's actually a level. And I cut it out, and it's got all kinds of stuff that falls out so you can see well, I would put vellum on it if I was doing the level. But instead, I made sure all the pieces stayed in, and then I put a piece of cardstock behind it to hold them in place with a bunch of glue. I wanted all those little areas to fill up with glue so they won't move, so I can use this as a microscope instead of a scale and level. And then that circle that was on the mixer, I put a pop dot underneath it, well, a piece of foam tape. But I popped it up so it looked like it was actually sticking out a little bit, so you could turn the handle to adjust the microscope. And the dies, the die that I'm using right now, it has 28 dies in it. It's Tim Holtz die set. And I bought it for this photo, but I have used it for other stuff already. And for another one that my son done when he was younger. And since this is a laboratory and those are laboratory bottles, I think that's what it says, laboratory bottles. Anyway, if you key in Tim Holtz Laboratory, you will get these. But there is plenty in there. There's the larger ones, which is basically what I used. I think I used one smaller one, maybe two. I used two smaller ones, but the rest were bigger. And I have done it before with the clear, well, not acetate, but the actual packaging for, oh, maybe an embellishment that I then inked in alcohol inks. This time I'm using vellum. And I went through my little scrap container. It's the size of a glass or a cup, and it don't have a lot in there. But it has a little bit of variety of scraps. So I pulled out flies. I think they're flies. Um, let's see, a bird, a fish. uh, I inked some on one piece. There is, oh, another one's like sprinkles on a cake icing. Yeah, and one kind of reminded me of fish eggs. Anyway, I put all kinds of stuff behind here, and so you can see it through the vellum. And in the close-ups, you'll be able to see it pretty good. And I also fussy cut out a bunch of books because I didn't want the shelves just to be filled with the bottles. I wanted something else there to give it a little more interest. So the set I pulled out is We Are Memory Keepers from like 10, 11 years ago. But it's really a cute vintage looking set. It's for high school. And yeah, I cut out the books for that. I'm going to make a bookcase for my bottles and my books. And I am just I cut some strips just to divide it up. I want a 2-shelf. Well, it's kind of 4 because it is divided in the middle, but it's 2 deep down or whatever. Anyway, I'm going to put all my stuff on there so that they'll have a place to be busy at, so your eye can look at all this odds and ends stuff that's on here. And I thought about having the title Shine Bright, but I decided on this Let Your Light Shine. It's some inspirational dies from um, Diamond Press. I don't know how I could forget that name. I love Diamond Press. And so I decided to pull out my vintage light dies, and they're just as cute as they can be. They're not very big, but I put vellum behind them and I used a yellow behind them. And I am going to hang them up on that right-hand side with my title. And right now you see me putting everything on the shelf. I did speed it up a little more right here, but then it'll be back to the other speed. Oh, and I forgot to highlight that bottle that I made in front of y'all. And I'm going to forget to highlight my microscope too. It's still not done, but I noticed it while doing the video. And these books, some of them look like they're just stacked, so you just see the ends of them, or rather the bottoms of them. And then some of the others you can see the title. And so I am just going to put them wherever I can get them to fit and think it looks halfway decent. Because I want the bottles to shine, since he is being a scientist in a laboratory. But then, like I said, I wanted something else of interest on the shelves. And I am also going to use those Tim Holtz atomic symbols. And they're over there to the left. And I'm going to pick all the yellowish orange ones out. I thought about doing several different colors, and I will pick a kind of a aqua color one out right off the bat, and a darker pink, like, it's not orange, it's more pink, but they're going to go right back in the container pretty quick, and they're already die cut out there. I have containers of stuff on the shelf in front of me, and those I die cut them all in one day. But yeah, there's plenty of colors in there to choose from. But I decided to go with the yellowish and orange. Oh, and I forgot to mention that laboratory set of Tim Holtz, it even has, well, it has dies for the labels, so you can put labels on your jars. But it also has dies for the cork to put into the jar. So I did use cork for them, and I used the dies and cut them out and stuck them in the top of the bottles. And it has bubbles, so like something's going on in that bottle. And so, yeah, I glued bubbles on not every one of them, but on some of them. And I highlighted the bubbles too. And I got better as I went. The first ones I didn't like as well. But the last set I did, I thought, oh, I'm getting better at this. But yeah, I highlighted them with the white gel pen. I did it with the white gel pen. And if you look on that one light, it has like a wire going up from it a little bit. Somehow I managed to get my strips the same size. I was just thrilled with that. And so I cut one strip. I cut it and put it with the other two plus the one that I attached it to. And you really cannot even tell where I attached it because it just did so well. It was an accident, take my word for it. I just guessed and hoped for the best. I'm putting my atomic shapes, that's what it's called, shapes dies. I'm putting them on there, and you can see that greenish looking one up there. It's not going to stay there. In fact, that's where my microscope's going to end up going because I thought it needed to be in a place where you could see it really good. But I did it in black because really I haven't seen, other than cartoons and scrapbooking stuff, any other color but black. And I matted my photo in black to go with it because I knew that was going to be black. And he has black goggles on. They're not glasses, they're goggles because he's working with a science experiment there and he needs goggles on. And so, yeah, I got black in 3 places because of that. Well, maybe 4. That one thing he's got in his hand looks pretty dark. It might be black too. It's not a super great picture. It's kind of on the fuzzy side, but it, if it gets the moment, I don't care if it's fuzzy or not. I'll go ahead and use it. At one time, I did. Well, I guess I did. At one time, I would put vellum over the top of the fuzzy pictures. Of course, I'd have, I don't know how many to go with them, so, it was all right. This is the only one I have of this. I'd have, I don't know how many to go with them, and I'd use it like a journaling card, but I'd put it over the one that was fuzzy and have it typed up on the vellum from my computer and have the printer do it. And nobody would even notice that it was fuzzy because I had that vellum on there. They said, "Why'd you cover that picture up? That's cute." And I'd tell them it was fuzzy. I'm putting some enamel dots on here. Well, they're the matte enamel dots from Gina Marie. She's got a shop and they're like $2.25 for a set. And I just thought, I'm going to put them on here, and I'm only using the yellow. Just add a little more dimension to my layout because I didn't have any hardly. It's all paper. Well, there is foam dots on some of the stuff, but there isn't anything but paper on here. So I thought, well, I'm adding the enamel dots. Oh, I take that back. I do have some crochet thread. Yeah, I did add that. But I put yellow on my white because I didn't really like it all white. I thought about using a grid, but my grid, everyone I looked at had wood grain on the other side, and I thought, oh, I don't want to give up my wood grain for that. I will put my background a light blue. Well, by the time I got my layout done and remembered, I decided on yellow. But yeah, I like that yellow pretty good, especially with my vintage lights there. But if you look down there below, you'll see links to all the other gals that are doing the Punched Out Thursday to Die for today. Check it out and see what they did with their punches and or dies. And yeah, if you leave a comment, I'll try to get back with you. And if you like the video and hit a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. And if you are not subscribed to my channel, I'd love to have you subscribe. And those of you already are, thank you so much. But have a happy, scrappy week. Take care and stay safe. Bye.